Now let's go on to the blood vessels. The three types of blood vessels. The first is the arteries, the next is the veins, and the last one is the capillaries. Functions in each category will be depend on the following. First one is the arteries. The function is to carry blood away from the heart, while the veins carry blood toward the heart. And the capillaries actually the site of gas exchange. What about the pressure? Arteries have high pressure, while veins and capillaries have low pressure. The lumen diameter, which the lumen, meanwhile, it is actually the interior cavity through which blood flows. Veins have the widest one. Arteries have narrow diameter. Then the capillary is actually extremely narrow, smallest, ika nga. While the wall thickness of the artery is thick, really, really thick. The veins are really thin, and the capillaries is super extremely thin. Let's provide this picture anyway. This is actually the structure of the artery. This is actually, if you know what I mean, check up the lumen diameter, also the vein. I wonder why this is actually the highest pressure than anybody else. While the vein have low pressure, but they have the wide diameter cavity where the blood flows, interior cavity rather. Capillaries are actually just really, really, really small. Oh, don't forget that the wall layers of the arteries and the veins are three, while the capillary is one. Although the muscle and elastic fibers of the arteries really, really enormous, only veins have few ones and the capillaries have none. The only difference between the valves, there are no valves in the arteries and the capillaries, while the veins have valves. So this is actually one of the layers of the artery and the vein, which consists of the outer layer, muscle layer, and the elastic layer. These three layers actually known as the tunica externa, the tunica media or the muscle layer, and the tunica interna. Oh, they are all blood vessels have endothelium, which is a layer of the flattened epithelial cells. That single layer of cells have a smooth surface that plays a role in decreasing resistance to blood flow. Yes, the inner layer, meanwhile, is also known as the tunica interna, and the outer layer is tunica externa. The only difference, arteries have the elastic layer, and veins have the valve. Yes, you're really right. The big idea, based on what you heard, the three blood vessels differ in structure and function, but all of them serves as tubes that contain the blood that delivers respiratory gases and nutrients throughout the body. I already give you this opportunity that this is actually an artery. They have thicker layers than the vein, which is actually important to accommodate blood pump at high pressure by the heart. And another tip, another trivia. The capillaries, if you don't know, even if they have the smallest parts, which is actually found in between the arteries and veins. The capillaries have the highest total cross-sectional area because of its numerous units and have slow velocity, allowing more time for gas exchange to occur. Take note that the total cross-sectional area that I mentioned is actually more of an area that has numerous. It is actually the number of units is so numerous, literally. But They have slow velocity. Why? Because the total cross-sectional area is inversely related to blood flow velocity. Blood flow of the capillaries is really, really slow, allowing it more time for gas exchange to occur. The higher the cross-sectional area, the slower the blood rate. Oh, don't forget the blood pressure is created when the ventricles contract. The table 1.4, the different areas, different vessels of their and their blood flow velocity will be found on page 14. Let me know if you have many questions or if you have more questions to ask.